Talk about fractions. Everybody's favorite thing is fractions, right? This blinking means we're on.
Okay.
All right. So we talked about adding a little bit here. But what I really want to talk about today is multiplying and simplifying. And then we're going to talk about some percentages and decimals, okay? So let's start with multiplying. You tell me, if I have two fractions, let's say 2/3 times 1/5. How do you multiply fractions?
Straight across.
Straight across. Top times top, bottom times bottom. So to multiply, you don't need a common denominator. Top times top, bottom times bottom. No sense in a common denominator. We don't have to go through all that. Multiplying should be really, really easy for you. So if you look at this, 2 times 1 is 2. And 3 times 5 is 15. So the multiplying part is the easy part, right? Straight across. Simplifying might get a little bit trickier for you. What do I mean when I say simplify a fraction? You're exactly right. We look for a number. I'm going to say, can you divide both the top and bottom by something? And I'll pause this and give you all a second to copy and catch up. All right, so let's look at the simplifying process here. Can I divide, is there any whole number you can divide 2 and 15 by?
No.
No, so it's already simplified. Let's look at one that's not simplified. Let's say I had, let me start with just giving you one, then we'll multiply. I want to simplify this. So I'm looking for something, and I want the biggest something when I look for something, that I can divide both of these by. 5. Everybody agree?
Yes, ma'am.
So when I simplify, when I find that number, wait, what? Somebody say wait?
No.
I'm sorry, okay. When I divide, what's left?
307.
15 divided by 5 is 3. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Tell me this, since this is a review and I need to know where you stand. I want everybody to give me a thumbs. I feel great about multiplying and simplifying fractions. I'm so about it, and I don't got it at all. Everybody give me a thumbs. Let me see where everybody feels. Okay. Let's do a couple more examples. Let's really mix it up here. Y'all ready? Oh my goodness, I gave you 3. How is this one different? Is it any different?
No.
Same process. There's just 3. Multiplication is commutative. I can do it in any order. It doesn't matter which ones I do first. But I'm just going to stay top times top, bottom times bottom. Okay? Then I'm going to work to simplify. So looking here, up top, you might need a calculator.
Oh, God.
Let's see. 50 plus 20 is 70. 5 times 14.
Yes.
7.
7.
It's 70, you're right. How about the bottom? That's okay. Take your time. 630.
Unless I'm wrong.
You're probably absolutely right.
You're right.
Have any of you ever seen the little trick where if they both end in a 0, you can knock a 0 off?
Yeah.
Because you're really just dividing by 10, right? I'm going to do that because these numbers are pretty big. So I get 7 over 63. Can I simplify that any further? Yes. Yes.
Oh, by like what?
7. You're exactly right by
See, I
7.
was gonna say
Okay, so if I divide the top and the bottom by 7, I get, and I'm going to have to come down here because I'm out of room. 1 over 9, you're exactly right. Let's do another. Let's throw some negatives in here so we have to practice a little bit with that. Times, let's do negative 1/3 times negative 8 over 15. Tell me my negative rules as I multiply and divide. What is a negative times a positive?
Negative.
A negative. What's a negative times a negative?
positive.
A positive.
Like Sleepy Man or something like that. That's all I can remember. That little
I don't know the sleeping man.
That's for addition.
Like a negative and a negative or something like that.
Oh, that is true. That's good. All right. So as I look at this, what I always do when I'm multiplying more than two things together is my first thing is I go through and look at how many negatives I have. I have 2 negatives and 1 positive. So my answer should end up being what? A positive. These two are going to give me a negative, and then a negative, and a negative gives me a positive. So what I can essentially do is ignore the signs right now. Do you see why? I'm going to get a positive anyway in the end. So let's go across. 5 times 1 times 8. 40. 12 times 3 times 15.
36.
Times 15.
540.
540.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, look, I've got this.
Oh, you got double zeros.
I got the zeros. You're exactly right. And they have to be at the end, guys. They have to be at the very end, and you can't cancel out. Like if.
On both of them?
Oh, yep. And so if they both have 2, you can cancel 2 out. But if there's 2 on the bottom and 1 up top, you can still only take 1. You see what I'm saying? You can't take more than what anybody has. All right. So now I've got 4 over 54. So can I simplify that any further?
Yeah, you divide by 4.
You can. So divide by 4. No.
It's going to be 1 over 13.5.
Yeah, no.
You can't. I'm like sitting here trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you wrong.
I'm like, no.
That's okay. No. That's okay. Yes, you're exactly right. That's okay though. This is the process you're going to go through as you try to figure out what goes in there. So that's good that we did that. All right, look, 2. It did look like it was divisible by 4 at first until you went to divide it. All right, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 54 divided by 2 would be 27. And so you can keep with this process if you find that you can't find the biggest one. So now look again. Can I divide them both by anything? No, so it's already simplified. Yes, no, maybe so?
Yes.
What if I have a number what if I have a fraction times a number?
Then don't you put like a 100 in number?
Absolutely. Good job. If I have this, put a 1 under the -9 and go across. What is -9 times 7?
Oh. 63.
63, that's right.
3.
Over 15. Can I simplify? Remember, improper fractions are okay. Mixed numbers are not okay. So can I simplify this any? Yes. What can I divide both of them by? Or what's the first thing you see? 3 is the first thing I see when I look at it. I would start with a 3. And remember, if we didn't pick the biggest one, that's okay because we can keep going. All right, so this is negative.
Man, I need a calculator.
And I can't simplify that any further, so it's done. Let's do percents
Alright, this is where you got it.
to fractions.
That was too, that we had to do that on the quiz with the test. We had to-
Yes, this is one of the concepts. All right, so percents to fractions. Now let's think about what percents are. Percents are a part of a whole, right? So if I have like 7%, how do I express that as a fraction? You all know?
7% over 1. 79 over 1? What was your 79 for you?
I don't know. Like,
Okay, let me just tell you and then we'll practice with them, okay? So 7%, how much is a whole? Let me ask you that. How much is a whole? If I said a percent is a part of a whole, how much is the whole? 100%. So what you do is you take the percent and you divide it by 100, or you put it over 100. That's all you have to do. So that's my first step. And then, of course, I look to try to simplify that fraction.
This is more easier. Miss, we put yours.
Well, you've seen it before, too. I'm kind of refreshing you. So if I'm trying to make 7% into a fraction, what do you think I would do?
Oh, I thought it was a 79. No, some more.
7 over 100. I'm sorry.
I put 79.
I'm sorry. I'm glad to hear it. All right. She said this is a class she's going to try really hard in.
Oh, me too. All my classes are.
All right, so can I simplify 7 over 100 any at all? I don't think so either. I can't. 7's a prime number, so I can't divide it by anything. It's only, prime means it's only divisible by 1 in itself. There's nothing else I can divide 7 by besides 7 and 1. Okay, let's look at another one. What if I asked you to write 120% as a fraction? It's always 100. It's always 100. So what do you do? Remember, improper fractions are okay. I don't know why at some point during y'all's education we were told that they weren't. 120 over.
I was told that if you have an improper fraction, you need to divide it. And like, you end up with the mixed number.
Mixed numbers are sloppy. It's okay. All right, girls. Shh. All right, so look. I definitely have the 0 thing going on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I can knock a 0 off. So I get 12 over 10. What can I do now? 2. I knew what you meant. Divided by 2. So I get 6 over 5. So 120% is the same thing as 6 over 5. Does that sound easy?
Yes, ma'am.
Makes sense? Okay.
Was this the next thing that show us?
Mm-hmm. How about, excuse me, a percent to a decimal? Now, see, y'all said that every time, and I've shown you, and it's been easy.
Yeah, but decimals, they're like
25% as a decimal. What do you do?
Point 25.
Yes. What did you do?
I don't know. Oh, I'm
You're right.
I would have decimal to the front.
You move the decimal. You move the decimal. Left 2 times. Okay? So if it's on the end right now, which it is, because any whole number, it's there on the end, I'm going to move it once, twice. So as a decimal, it's going to be 0.25. You are literally just moving the decimal.
Y'all just said, y'all not good at it.
Move it to every single time. So what if it's 7%? Always twice. Yes. I would move it once. Uh-oh, there's nothing there, girls. So I have to put a 0 here to hold the place. Okay? Always twice. Because 0.7, if you just wrote 0.7, that would be 70%.
That's you.
7%. So let's go backwards with this then. We've done percent to fraction, percent to decimal. How about decimal to percent? Decimal. I try to give you your notes so that you can always go back and look at the heading and find out what to do. That looks good. Decimal to percent. So this time I have maybe 0.35. I want to write that as a percent. What do I do?
That's the 10, because of the decimal is in the number.
But what do you do? How do you make it a percent? If to go from percent to decimal, to go from here to here, I go left twice. How do you go right? Right twice.
Oh my gosh, it's reversed.
Don't overcomplicate it. Move decimal right 2 times. 1, 2. So it's 35%. And you don't really need that little decimal there anymore. Yes. like 0.7. What do you think you do? That's a good question. What do you do if there's only one number there?
Would it be 70%?
You're exactly right. Put the 0 again.
Yay, Pippi. I don't realize I'm like really bad at math. This is like really bad.
All right. Let's say I have this and I ask you to write it as a percent. Yes. Remember, decimal to percent, 2 to the right, so it would be 115%. What if I asked you?
Wait.
Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
It would be on the end because now it's a whole number. This one's a little bit trickier. This one's as a percent, and I want to make it a decimal. Yes. Left. You're exactly right. And remember, if it doesn't have anything to move it, any place to move it, you add zeros to hold the place. So I know I need to go left because I'm percent to decimal. 1. Come on, pen. 1, 2. So I'm going to have to add 2 zeros. So it's going to be 0.003. I'm glad. I'm so glad to hear that.